I'm with Øystein from the amazing BORKNAGAR. So there is a new album called Fall, but I must admit that your previous album was so amazing, True North, and I would say that it's one of my favorites, top 3 for the last 10 years.
Oh, dude. Wow.
It was so fantastic, It's I think there is something with this album up north, right?
Definitely. It just felt, it's the stars was just aligned, everything just worked out, and it's, the production sound, the songs, everything is perfect. So yeah, one of those moments, that everything just works in a sense. I agree. It's a really, really awesome album.
And so last time I saw you, you played with Moonspell and Insomnium. It was also a great package to defend up north, right?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we had a really good time on the road with the bands, and we was able to reach a bigger audience, I guess, with Moonspell and stuff. So great audience, great venues, and that was a really nice tour. So yeah, we had a good time doing that, and it was important for us to finish off what we started, because we planned to basically do a world tour when we released True North, but because of the pandemics, everything, yeah, the world was basically on hold. So it was felt good to finally get out, to the fans and play the songs.
And something amazing too is that Fall has entered the European charts.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty crazy. I'm kind of mind blown by the whole thing. It's going into this whole thing, adventure it is. I don't have any big expectations to anything really besides my music. But of course, it's going really good for us right now, and the feedback on the new album has been crazy good, I would say. And yeah, we are entering bunch of charts in in Europe and in US, and yeah, so on and so forth. So the feedback on the new album Fall is absolutely stellar as well.
When did you start writing this new album Fall? After the tour, or
for me personally, it's hard to say because I always write, work on music in some other, level. But I remember we when we did a tour with Moonspell and Insomnium, we kind of agreed that after this tour, we're gonna, sit down and, plan the next album. So I guess after that, we started, to talk about, how to, approach the whole thing in regards to studios and recordings and all the practicalities. But I think most of my songs was already written at that time, at least the basics of it. So it's yeah, I guess we have been working on the album for a year or something all in all. Personally, I feel that it's kind of continuation from True North. In a way, but I always strive and seek to push the musical boundaries, try to progress and stuff. I mean, to me, my music should be a kind of a parallel to my life. I'm always growing, I'm always evolving as a human being, and so should my music. So I think the True North was the perfect album in 2019. And Fall is the perfect album for me in 2024 kind of thing. And yeah, again, we wanted to kind of continue where True North in a way ended. However, we wanted to expand a little bit more. We wanted to climb maybe an even steeper mountain to challenge ourselves musically. But what was very important to me that I kind of very much liked with True North as well as with Fall is that both albums has the dark moments, has the brutality, has the screaming vocals and all that, but there is also a kind of an uplifting vibe to it, and that was something I with True North. It's a pretty dark album, but it still kind of has this gleam of hope in a sense. And that was something I also wanted to to have on the new album Fall, that the thematics, the musical approach on the things is at times quite brutal and harsh, but it still has this kind of, I don't know, energizing feel to it, this uplifting feel to it. That's kind of this sweet and sour atmosphere, or something that was important for me to also achieve with Fall.
course, the duality of brutality and very cool and great tune, you know, like the song Nordic Anthem, you know, is a fantastic way maybe to discover the band, and then you go to other songs maybe a bit more brutal.
Yeah, you know, it's all about, you know, I used to say that, you know, for me, music should be like life in a sense, you know. It should be all the ups and downs. It should be the rainy days. It should be the sunny days. So yeah, I mean, that is something that I think we managed even better on this new album, you know, to kind of mirror all this facets of life, you know, all this big struggle of life, you know, all this yeah, the cozy part of it, the brutal part of it, so to speak. So, you know, that is kind of my kind of simple but also complicated goal, I would say.
It's funny because we know that where you live in Bergen, Norway, it's I think it's the most rainy city in Norway, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. I'm not sure if it by statistics, but I remember a couple of years ago we had one year that was raining 250 days a year. You know, that is quite a lot. So yeah, we have enough water in the Bergen area, so to speak. So yeah, it is what it is, but it's also, I would say, and add is that, you know, in Bergen in the springtime, I've been all over the place. I even have a house in France, actually. I've been there many times, and you know, every summer for 20 years or something. But the springtime in Bergen, the early summer in Bergen, nothing is more beautiful than that. So it's you know, again, this contrasts of life. I mean, I'm willing to, you know, survive 250 days with rain if I have, you know, 1 week with just the Norwegian beauty in springtime. I've since the very start of the band, I've always, you know, I have this. I still live. I mean, I live close by Bergen, of like 30 minutes drive, but I live still on the countryside, and I you know, I always lived on the countryside, close to nature, because I love nature. That's my free ground. That's my place. I find, you know, energy. That's where I kind of, you know, get the steam out and all that, you know, and the beauty of nature. I've always been very fascinated by that. All the sounds, all the things that's happening, you know, just sitting alone in a forest, listening to all the, you know, the things going on, crawling and sounds and bird, you know, songs and all that. To me, that is you know, pretty much the core of life, and or the beauty of life. And to me, you know, with this band, I've always tried somehow to kind of try to share this with my fans, you know, this experience of nature, this beautiful experience in nature, but oh so brutal, you know. My you know, just behind my studio here, I have the highest mountain in the Bergen area, which is like called in the Norwegian Gold Mountain. And it's a beautiful place. It's such a beautiful place, and I've been there so many times. And when you're on this mountaintop, you can see all over the place. You can even almost, I underline, I can almost see to England, because you have this gigantic view all over the place, you know, and you have this, I don't know, this feeling of being a mountaintop is complete silence, but you still, you know, feel the bouldering of the mountains. You still feel the wind, you know, on all that. And it's such a beautiful experience, but it's also such a brutal experience. You know, every year there is like a couple of people dying up on this mountain because it's so harsh. And some of the reason is that because the weather shifts in a blink of an eye, you know, in matter of 1 minute you go from sunshine and just beautiful view till fog that might kill you if you step wrong, for example. So that kind of duality of nature, this beauty and the beast of nature, that is something that I just want to project that to my fans. I want the people, you know, I want the audience to kind of get into my experience in a sense. So I've always wanted to be a band that kind of rather, you know, invite people into a musical journey or a musical experience, rather than being just an entertainer on stage, or, you know, that kind of thing. So So for me, this is kind of more like an experience thing rather than just an entertainment thing, if you get my point. And yeah, I think, you know, the beauty of nature. I also have a trail behind my studio here. I walked there probably 10,000 times the last 10 years, every second day, you know, and I know the area so well. But there is always a different experience, even though I know this area so good, you know. It's a different experience, a different climate, a different lighting, it's a different bird, you know, hanging around, and that kind of stuff. And that kind of complexity is also something I want to bring into my music, so that when people listen to, let's say, Summits, the first song on the album, one day, and the second day they might actually get a different experience because maybe they listen on headphones, or maybe there is, you know, different, you know. So that kind of duality and the complexity of nature is something that is very important for me to try to bring into the music. Whether or not we have succeeded, I don't know, but at least that's how I think about it. Produced the album here in my studio. You know, I spent so much time, you know, recording things and trying out different ideas, and, you know, guitar tones and, you know, effects and synths and layers and all that stuff. So I spent shitloads of time in my studio producing, and we did some pretty good demos. But in the end of the day, we got Jens Bogren to do the, you know, the finalizing touches, you know, to do the mixing and mastering, and you know, he is such a brilliant engineer, a mixing engineer. He's a magician, I would say. He's, you know, it's a one of a kind, really. And he was, I think he was able to capture the sound so well. Of course, we talked about this, you know, how it should sound. And basically, the only thing I told him, of course, I sent him my demos, but otherwise, I just told him, you know, Jens, I want this to sound like the, you know, the forests, the mountains, and all that, you know. And he did it.
As usual.
It's as usual. Yes, he nailed it for real.
How do you deal with your two amazing singers? You know, I think Lars and Vortex are fucking amazing singers. And how did they divide the work and the voices on the album? How do you split, you know, the voices?
You know, we of course we do some plannings, and I have my ideas. You know, the guys have their ideas. We, you know, but we share the music a lot. You know, we all the ideas we have, everything, we kind of put it on the table and look at it together in a sense, you know. And then we have some plans. You know, this is this theme of this song or whatever. This is Simon. You know, we of course kind of have those plans, but also equally important for us is this capture of the moment sometimes. And with True North we did that, and also with Fall. We was just sitting here in my studio, me, Lars, and Simon, you know, with a microphone, the lyrics and the music, and we just push play and record. You know, what comes up, you know, it's something about this spontaneous ideas that comes around when just listening, sitting together, talking about music, you're trying out ideas, you know. So we plan some, and we have some ideas, of course, but we also keep the door very open for the actual recording process. And we kind of experiment a lot. We try out ideas, and sometimes even mistakes turn out to be the greatest idea on the record, you know. Just you know, to have that opportunity to keep on to that musical Kodak moment, if you get my point. That is important for us, I would say. Because these days, everybody has studio. Everybody is able to sit behind a PC and make a mix or record an album or whatever, you know. And so to me, in my mind, sometimes I feel that too much music has become too generic in a sense, because everybody has all the time they need to make, you know, the music they want, and it's a good thing. It's definitely a good thing, but it's also you know, if you spend too much time on stuff, music tends to become a little bit too generic, compressed, quantized, and perfect, basically. And you know, that is also important for us, is to avoid this becoming too perfect things. I mean, I love the perfect human imperfections in music. To me, I'm an old school guy. I love music from the 70s, and nothing about that is perfect. Not even the sound is good, according to today's standards, I would say. I mean, we love it. I love it. But it has all this flaws of history in a sense that I also love. And to me, that is very important in my music, to keep this human notion, this feeling of human imperfection, because to me that is perfect when it comes to music, because music should be human. Music shouldn't be too streamlined and generic. That turns out to, that's the enemy of music in my mind.
And so you are quite inspired by nature, but it's funny to see that you are also inspired by art, like Eliran, that made your artwork. So most of the time he paints artworks, and it seems that the title Fall was inspired by the painting in itself.
Yeah, and that's actually, for this time around, that was a funny, cool story actually to add to the equation. Because for us it's always been kind of the final piece of the puzzle when we are making a new album is the album title, because that the album title kind of should hold everything, should bind everything together in a sense. And this time around we didn't, we was a little bit unsure about the album title, and then we started to talk with Eliran about the cover and his way of approaching music and all that stuff. And I basically, we gave him basically artistic freedom. The only thing I told him that I want the cover, the visuals of this album to somehow show the untamed nature, the nature in its natural state, in the wild, not tamed, not And also the second thing I wanted, I wanted to have on the cover some notion of humanity, not a person, not a human body, not a head, not a hand or anything like that. But I wanted something to remind about humanity in a sense. And I think, those elements together and his, approach on this, and of course he listened to the demos and read the lyrics and everything. He just, hit the nail so hard with this one. I think, it just blew me off my chair, to be honest, when I saw it first. And it feels really connected with the music and everything we have done. So when I got the cover, I was like, okay, this album, there is no doubt this album is gonna be named Fall. So that's kind of a turnaround, because we usually, kind of establish an album title before we kind of, do or the opposite, the other way around, that we use the album title as the backbone of the cover, But this time around, we actually, the cover is the backbone of the album title.
And now to finish, because I haven't seen any date for the moment, I'm pretty sure that you want to hit the stage with your fellows, right?
Yeah, it might be that we pop up on a couple of stages around Europe. Yeah, we have a bunch of festivals. I don't remember them all, but we have a bunch of festivals going in over the summer. We are doing Inferno now in late March, and then we are doing a bunch of festival over the summer, and we also have an upcoming European tour with a band. With a quite big established band. I can't say more about it because it's not official yet, though. But probably in September, October, we will 4 or 5 weeks in Europe, and I'm pretty sure that we will play several shows in France as well.
Maybe more in the north of France than in the south.
Yeah, I don't remember the routing at this point, but yeah, I'm pretty sure that we will be around, and I would be surprised if we don't play in Paris, for example, or something. But I'm pretty sure we are. It's 5 weeks all over Europe, and I think we will have France covered as well.
Sounds great. So
hopefully,
we are waiting for you, and your new home, France, is waiting for you again.
Awesome, man. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a nice day, nice weekend, and please share this full album. It's amazing and totally different experience. You know, it's always amazing.
Thank you so much. You know, it's really profoundly appreciated. Thank you so much. It's
Bye. Thank you.
bye bye. See
Thank
you.
you.
Take care.
Bye.